Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Earlier, I sat down with David McIntosh, the president of the Club for Growth, and they didn't really support Donald Trump all the way. So I asked David how he feels now in the aftermath of the election. Are you walking a fine line here?
You know, and really after he won the Indiana primary, we said we're going to stay out of this. We'll support him when he does really good things and free market agenda. Really liked Mike Pence as the vice president pick. We're very supportive at this point, particularly on the tax cuts, move those quickly, eliminate Obamacare, and reduce regulations. Those are three things we think he could do quickly and thoroughly and really make a difference. On trade, we're waiting to see where it comes out. And there, I guess I view our role is let's try to be constructive, offer up ideas that would work for Donald Trump. One of them would be a bilateral agreement with Britain. You know, they passed Brexit, left the EU bureaucracy. We sent Trump there to cut bureaucracy. You can show that freedom beats out government control by doing that bilateral trade agreement. And
do you have confidence? Is your confidence bolstered by the fact that he picked Priebus for chief of staff, for instance?
Yes, Priebus is the most conservative head of the Republican Party in my lifetime, and I think he will do a good job as chief of staff. I think he's starting to fill out the team at the transition with the right people, putting Mike Pence in charge, Jeff Sessions, and I'm looking forward to good appointments. Now, I recognize, you know, Donald Trump, as President Obama said, is not an ideologue. But what we're going to do at the Club for Growth is show how our free market ideas work for him in his business sense. You can run government better. You rely on the private sector. You get more for the money. And I think there are ways that we can work together.
You had great success in the Senate races that you certainly got behind. They're calling it the trifecta, I guess.
Yeah.
What was it? Was Florida, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. And those were huge victories, very important victories.
Very important. Kept the majority for Republicans in the Senate. And for us, equally or more important, kept real champions of free markets, smaller government there, and they'll be right at the table shaping all this legislation.
What does it say coming from someone who, that's what I'm asking you, putting the question as someone who didn't support Trump. What does it say that Donald Trump, despite it all, despite the media, you know, turning up, maybe he had the media advantage in the primaries, but certainly in the end, you know, everything. Oh, Donald said this, he sneezed, he didn't say excuse me. It was all Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. The tapes of the women, the this, the that. What does it say that he's president of the United States, beating Hillary Rodham Clinton? And I love saying that.
She embodied the status quo, the business as usual in Washington. And what it says is middle America rose up and said, enough is enough. We're going to send somebody there to shake things up and do it differently. We weren't quite sure how that would be with Trump, but now he has an opportunity. And I honestly believe what's best for middle America right now is less government and more opportunities for people in the private sector. And that's theoretical, but we need to show how if we reduce these regulations, we're going to have better jobs, higher pay, return to the American dream for middle-class America that said, you've left us, government. The coasts and Washington, D.C. look out for themselves. We're sending somebody there to shake things up.
Do you have a name that you'd like to see appointed to the Supreme Court, or just confidence in the list that you've seen and his ability and his, you know, his willingness to go certainly conservative?
Yeah, very, very confident in the list that he put out, and will be supportive if he picks somebody from there. We're focusing now on looking at some of the economic post, Treasury. I'd love to see Jeb Hensarling. I think the markets would respond positively to that. An interesting name I saw for the SEC, very important to free up regulations there under Dodd-Frank, is Peter Thiel. You know, he's been out of government, very
he's
thoughtful,
the one Silicon Valley guy that is happy that Donald Trump got elected. That would be very, very interesting. David McIntosh, great to see you, sir.